In the vibrant coastal regions of Ghana, a growing crisis is unfolding, a crisis that threatens the health of both the ocean and the people who depend on it. Plastic pollution is suffocating our waters, and the toll it's taking on marine life and human health is becoming too great to ignore. Chorkor and Korle Gonno, once peaceful fishing communities, are now battling an overwhelming flood of plastic waste that is slowly poisoning the very source of their livelihood. Plastic waste in Chorkor and Korle Gonno doesn't just come from the local community. While consumption here contributes significantly, much of the waste originates from urban areas further inland. Every day, items like plastic bags, bottles, and food wrappers are discarded without thought, often finding their way into the streets. When it rains, the plastic waste is swept into drains and gutters, which eventually lead to the ocean. The problem doesn't stop at local consumption. Plastic waste travels. It accumulates from far and wide, eventually washing up on these shores. It's a global issue, but it's felt most acutely in places that are least prepared to deal with. What starts as a single piece of plastic tossed carelessly away can end up choking marine life and polluting the very resources people depend on for food and income. But the solution lies a collective effort, reducing waste, recycling more, and improving waste management systems. The people of Chorkor and Korle Gonno are beginning to take responsibility, and they are urging for larger systematic change to protect their environment and their health.
Them say we no fit jump, them say you no fit jump, them say we no fit jump. Them say we no fit jump, them say you no fit jump, them say we no go fit jump. I'm a girl when you want to move in that I catch my walk where walk around my body. Get a change inside the mama. Now be why you know. Get a change inside the mama. Body get the you know. Get a change inside the mama. Umre kwedu. Get a change inside the mama. Umre kwedu. Get a change inside the mama. Sumin de ura kapa. Get a change inside the mama. Get a change inside the mama. Kinya bubu you know. Get a change inside the mama. What you need when I change inside the mama. What you do, what you know when I do not me baba
These are issues according to certain residents of Chorkor and Korle Gonno with whom we spoke.
Most of the plastic waste you see around us are not from us. Whenever it rains, it carries the plastic waste from other communities to Chorkor. So we are asking for help to curb this. When it rains, people pour their waste into gutters, and also people dump their refuse at the seaside. The ocean also brings back the waste from it. That is why there is so many plastic waste here. But there is a woman who volunteers and cleans this place up, but it is not enough, so we are asking for help.
She called back a river me. On a vote can be rubber jink can be New York. Me, what you soon can be a bien. What can you more than a law fake at your top? They crash washing. Ah, well, be cotton shona right now. Obana be jolly moving if a what you saw. Shade your top neighbor. No one pafai. On our walk.
My name is Sumaila and I was born and raised here in Korle Gonno. The rubbish comes from very far away, especially in large quantities when it rains heavily. The rain pushes all the waste into the sea and then the waves brings it back to our shores. When it rains, we face numerous challenges. We must protect our families and ourselves because for many of us living here, heavy rains turn into disaster due to plastic waste from urban areas. We consistently clean our environment, but since we don't produce the waste ourselves, it continues to arrive in large amounts. Occasionally, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, come to help clean up, but as I mentioned, the waste originates from urban areas, so it continues to impact our community. The plastic waste that flows through the Chemuena Lagoon into the sea doesn't just disappear, it also contributes to the spread of diseases. Fortunately, we are not usually affected by these diseases, but people living farther away do suffer the consequences. We avoid falling victim to diseases outbreaks because we often fumigate our community. We urge government to provide support so that this issue can be resolved. I am Solomon Lai, and when it rains, rubbish accumulates in one place, and when we try to dispose of it, we can fill about 70 trucks with plastic waste. This is a very serious issue here in Korle Gonno and Chorkor. We ask the government to help restore order in our communities and to impose penalties on those who irresponsibly dispose of waste. We, the people living in coastal areas, deserve to have peace of mind.
Wogbejeke, Ghana Mali, Sumanguru, you know what you're shown. Wogbejeke, what you're shown. So Timbuktu, Ghana Mali, Sumanguru, you know what you're shown. Machetaki, you know Sumanguru, you know Wogbejeke. What you're shown. What's that to do, you know? Brown answer, you know. Yes, and why, you know what you're shown. Get your Israel, get my Egypt, get your Ethiopia, get Sudan, what you're shown. Abaka, you know, when you're full Karacha, I get more when you're a young thing. Abaka, you know, when you're full Karacha, I get more when you're a young thing. I'm a Gamian.
I am a fisherman and I have been fishing for over 22 years. The rubbish you see here does not come from the people of Chorkor or Korle Gonno. It comes from those of you in the cities. We don't drink bottled water here. Yet, if you look around, you will see countless plastic bottles. Have you asked yourself where all this rubbish comes from? The people in the city are truly harming us with their waste. Recently, when we go fishing, we hardly catch anything, and then you complain that fish is expensive. This is due to the detrimental practices that have emerged. Sometimes we return home with nets full of rubbish instead of fish, and our nets often tear because of the debris we pull in. We plead with the government to help us because we are suffering from this waste. We can't afford to buy premix fuel, spend an entire night at sea, and come back with nets full of plastic. My name is Jonathan Mensah, and I have been a fisher folk for 13 years now. I joined when I was young. My father used to tell me that fishing has changed due to the bad practices we have implemented today. I just want to ask the government to help us because we, the fishermen here, support the NDC. We would be happy if John Mahama and his team set rules to abolish plastic waste that ends up in the sea. I am Peter Agyeiwaa, and I'm a student at Odogono Senior High School in the Greater Accra Region of Ghana. Whenever we are on vacation, I come here to visit my family, and I decide to join them for fishing. Sometimes, when we return from spending the night at sea, we realize that we mostly bring back debris instead of fish. Most of the children here are not in school, and as a result, they lack basic education. Overall, the government should help support our community because we are really struggling.
Interview with an expert, Redao Shaibu from Nyaho Medical Center.
My name is Redwa Shaibu, family medicine resident with the Nyaho Medical Center. In recent times, the quantity of plastic pollution found in our environment has become so alarming, most especially to us as medics, due to its negative impact on our health. The ocean is one of the hardest hits when it comes to the quantity of plastics that can be found in our water bodies, and its subsequent effects not only on aquatic organisms, but on us as humans. The mere presence of plastics in our oceans results in entanglement, starvation, and subsequent suffocation of sea organisms such as seals, whales, and sea turtles. When broken down into small particles, which are known as microplastics, sea organisms such as fish feed on these microplastics and eventually end up on our plates as nutritional sources, but inadvertently introducing poisonous chemicals into our bloodstream. These microplastics, together with the poisonous chemicals that they contain, put us at risk of conditions such as cancers, other inflammatory processes, and developmental problems for our young ones. Pregnant women and children are the most at risk of the negative impacts of these microplastics and the harmful chemicals that they contain. It is therefore imperative that you and I put our hands together, join forces to reduce the amount of plastic pollution in our environment and most especially in our oceans.
The battle against plastic pollution is far from over, but it's a fight worth having. The future of our oceans and our people depends on the choices we make today.
Kaya What you do, what you need, man, I can't get some of what you do, what you need, man, I do not know about you. Mama